Day 2 of the NFL draft is in the books, so we got to do what everyone does. You give out grades, even if it doesn't make sense right now because we haven't seen them play a snap. That's what football fans do. So we are going to grade the second day of the draft for the Atlanta Falcons, and it all started with a trade when the Falcons moved up from 44 to 38. They shipped off a fourth-round pick to Indy to go out and select Matthew Bergeron, tackle from Syracuse. Now, I want to start things off with this. I think Matthew Bergeron is a good player. This is not one of those, why is he upset? He's a good player. He is. He's a good tackle. Tackle. Something Atlanta does not need. You have Jake Matthews. I don't forecast him leaving after this season. I don't think this was a Jake Matthews replacement pick. No, I really don't believe that. You just re-signed Caleb McGarry, so you're not going to put him at right tackle. You're definitely not going to Lindstrom at right guard. He's not a center. So by process of elimination, the monstrous left tackle is now the left guard for the Atlanta Falcons. He was a 4-year starter. He played right away at Syracuse. He's a solid athlete altogether, but he's a big fella, okay? And big fellas that are well over 300 pounds, like 335 pounds, are not always designed to be quick and nimble and pull like a guard. That is why I have concerns about Bergeron as a player you trade up for, right? You're giving up future assets because you believe this is someone we just cannot risk not falling to us. And I just don't see him as a great fit for Atlanta's offensive line for what they needed, which was a left guard. Instead, they got a left tackle. Now, Dane Brugler had this to say on the Canadian left tackle, by the way. Bergeron is very efficient in his movements and grades well as a run blocker, but his inconsistent base and hand placement are gateway issues that disrupt his rhythm and ability to finish, especially in space. He is NFL starting talent, although his skills might be maximized inside as a zone blocking guard. I mean, Brugler's a smart guy. Maybe he's seeing something I'm not seeing, but to me, you don't usually find guards that were left tackles in college and are well over usual weight limits for offensive guards. If Atlanta believes he can make the switch, in Arthur Smith I trust, but I don't see it right now. So I'm going to keep it real with you guys and go, I want to believe in Bergeron as a guard, and I know we're just talking about offensive linemen, and we're really getting deep in the X's and O's here, but this was a head-scratching pick in my opinion. For that reason, I'm going to go C-. Maybe I'm being too harsh on the pick, and hopefully Bergeron proves me wrong and he completes this offensive line for Atlanta, and whoever's quarterback will have an easy life, and Bijan Robinson's going to have a lot of success running to the left side of the offensive line if he wants to. But to me, I just thought if you really wanted a guard, maybe you wanted to move up and get Osiris Torrance out of Florida, right? That's an actual left guard right there. Bergeron, it's going to be an experiment. You are putting him in a brand new position. Let's see how it works. Now, before we get to the next selection that Atlanta had at the end of round number 3, we are your home for the entire NFL draft. Don't miss a single thing when it comes to the Dirty Birds, this 2023 NFL draft. Subscribe if you are not already. So fast forward to pick 75, and Atlanta went Zach Harrison, edge rusher out of Ohio State. Now, he's got a lot of great traits. The production was never really there when he was in Columbus. If you want to nerd out when it comes to edge rushers, he's missing that big buzzword everyone looks for. Anyone, Bueller? Bendy, right? He doesn't have that elusive bend to just dip below the tackle and get into the backfield. Here's the scouting report on Zach Harrison. Former 5-star prospect who never quite lived up to the hype, massive length and frame with flashes of power in his hands, straight line speed, but there it is, not a lot of bend. Now, our draft expert Tom Downey had him ranked as the 17th best edge and the overall ranking of 115. Dane Brugler had this to say on Harrison. Harrison's pass rush construction and edge setting execution are works in progress, but he is a remarkable linear athlete with elite length, upfield quickness, and the ability to affect the game in different ways. He can play defensive end and even or odd fronts and projects as a key member of an NFL defensive line rotation. Last year for the Buckeyes, 8 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks. Like I said, the production level was never quite there for Zach Harrison. I'm looking at his career stats right now. He never went over 4 sacks in a single season for Ohio State as a 2-year starter and a 4-year player. Second team All Big Ten last season. Led them in something that's not that on screen, so never mind. But getting back on track here, it's like almost 2 a.m. right now at Chat Sports' offices, and Rolly and I are getting tired. Zach Harrison, back where I was talking, okay? I wanted more pass rushers. So this is what I asked for Christmas, and I did get it, right? I don't dislike Zach Harrison, and I don't even dislike it at pick 75 because let's be real. Most of the good edge rushers were gone at that point. Like, you get what you pay for. You wait until pick 75 to find a pass rusher, you're not going to get one of the 5 or 6 best edge rushers in this draft class here. My grade for this selection individually, I'm going to go C+. Like I said, or like Dane Brugler said rather, good rotational piece. I'm interested to see if he's going to be a stand-up outside linebacker in a 3-4 front, or is he going to be a 5 technique defensive end? He is 6'5", 274 pounds. So he has the size to go down to the line of scrimmage and get in a 3-point stance, but maybe they just bring him on for blitz packages and things like that in the first year of his career. And after his rookie and sophomore season, maybe he works himself into a bigger role. So here are the 3 selections that Terry Fontenot has made so far. Bijan Robinson at 8, which mixed reviews, great football player. You did just have a 1,000-yard rusher, though, with Tyler Algier. Maybe you could have gone a different direction with a very premium pick like number 8. Matthew Bergeron, I want to say that's your new starting left guard. We'll see how the transition goes. I'm just not as optimistic as others are. I hope to be proven wrong. And Zach Harrison, edge rusher out of Ohio State. Great physical traits, good size. And honestly, in round 3, you're not going to find a combination of great traits, great size, and great production. That's called being the top pick like Will Anderson. Like that's what that happens. So you are getting a bit of a raw, not even a raw product because he had a lot of experience at Ohio State, but you're getting one of those high ceiling type of players that they've got the physical tools. You don't need them to grow anymore or put on more weight. They just got to find a way to add more tools to their bag, add some more clubs in, and get themselves closer to the hole. Overall, my day 2 draft grades, I'm going to go C. This is excluding the Bijan Robinson pick. I think it's just average-ish. Like, Atlanta had a good second-round pick. They traded up, so one of the better day 2 picks. And pick 75 right in the middle-ish of round number 3, sort of in the front half with the comp picks at the end. And they didn't walk away with what I believe are 2 good impact players. Like, a starter most likely in Bergeron. I'm going to hold my breath on him actually being a left guard in the NFL. And Harrison, I wanted more pass rushers. I got what I asked for. You waited until 75. He's not my number 1 guy or my 2 or 3. I hope that he can have a very successful career in Atlanta. I'm just not going to stand up here and sell you guys beachfront property in Oklahoma, right? I'm not going to stand up here and pretend like I believe these are out-of-the-park hits right now and Atlanta has won this draft A+. So grade the team's draft so far. Include the Bijan Robinson pick for this question right now. If you include Bijan, I think I give it like a C+. I would have liked to see more from Atlanta, right, with some good picks in this draft. But Terry Fontenot, we just got to trust in him right now. But to be honest with you guys, the confidence level's low through 3 picks so far in this draft. But there are 4 more rounds to go tomorrow. So hopefully things can pick up then for Atlanta. There are still a lot of good players out there. We'll look at some of the best available in just a moment. But speaking of day 3 of the NFL draft, make sure you come hang out with us here at Chat Sports for it. We've got all the best NFL draft coverage, wall-to-wall action, pick-by-pick analysis. So let's find out if Stetson Bennett gets drafted together. Now, here are Tom Downey's best available players. Clark Phillips, we talked about drafting him in round 2, round 3-ish, and he's still on the board. 6 picks last year for the Utes. Kelee Ringo, I don't know where he lines up exactly in an NFL secondary, but he's an athletic monster who just regressed last year. He's going to find a home, and I think he'll be good too. Dawan Jones, tackle, no. Adetomiwa Adebawore, he might be a fit for Atlanta as another defensive lineman, but I feel like they're somewhat tapped out at the D-line. Tyler Scott, a wide receiver. No Josh Downs, no Jalen Hyatt to ATL, so maybe it's Tyler Scott or A.T. Perry. Some other secondary members, I like Darius Rush a ton. Antonio Johnson, the safety. The top wide receivers, by the way, if Atlanta wants to make that their focus for the start of day 3, Scott, Perry, Parker, Washington. Those are the 3 best players on our big board going into the final day of the draft. As for corners specifically, you have Clark Phillips, you have Kelee Ringo, Darius Rush, Jacorian Bennett out of Maryland. Phillips and Rush are probably my 2 favorite. If I had to pick one, I'm pretty high in the Darius Rush Kool-Aid, so that would be my guy right there. As for edge rushers, if Atlanta feels like they want to bring more youth into the building, Colby Wooden out of Auburn, Yasir Abdullah, that might be a sneaky good pick right there. Isaiah McGuire out of Mizzou, and I like Nick Hampton a lot. Went to App State, so he somewhat flew under the radar unless you watched a lot of Sun Belt football. He's a very good player. I like Nick Hampton. So with that being said, give me a name of who you want the Falcons to draft next. Give me the best guy out there that you want to see be drafted by Atlanta down in the comment section below. Good night. Enjoy the rest of your day 2/20 the morning of day 3, actually. So good morning to everyone who just woke up and threw us on as you get ready for day 3. We'll sign off, and potentially by the time you're watching this, see you in a couple hours for day 4 or day 3 and round 4 picks for the Atlanta Falcons.